Greetings, everyone. Welcome to Tuesday evening talks with Dr. V. I am so excited to be here. I hope you've had a wonderful Tuesday, not too busy, but just enough stimulation to feel good about the day. My day was incredible, and I hope yours was likewise. So, as we start this session today, I want to first of all welcome any new viewers or subscribers and thank you for participating in Tuesday Talks with us today. And I want to remind those of you who may be viewing for the first time, please subscribe so you won't miss anything that comes up on my YouTube channel. So, here's how I want to start today. I want to ask a question. I call this pop quiz. So the pop quiz for the day is, how do you define life? Not what Google says, not what Wikipedia says, not what Webster's Dictionary says, for those of you who remember Webster's Dictionary. How do you define life? And some of you may define life as a stimulating journey. Some of you may define life as an uphill battle that wears you out. Some of you may define life as a unexpected, unpredictable, day-by-day venture. I don't care how you define it, but I want you to think about, how do you define life? A wise person told me years ago that life is a four-letter word, just like all the other four-letter words that we say when we're frustrated. But tonight, I want to tell you that I believe life is a video game. I bet you didn't expect that. Yes, a video game. And I'm going to break it down to you so you'll understand why I say that. So think about video games. All my video game players, raise your hand, hit me in the chat. I play. What's your favorite game? Let me know. Give me some background on who you are with video games. Well, those of you who are true video game players know that all video games have players and characters. The players are the people who choose to play the game, and the characters are the people who participate under the direction of the players. But those of you who are true video gamers also know that they're experts and they're creators of the video games. And those experts are the ones who teach us how to play the game well, or they're the ones who we learn from so that we improve our skills to climb the leaderboard. But you also know that in video games, you got to learn some lessons. You got to get some skills. You got to adapt some crafts. You have to manage the specific talents and techniques that you need to be able to participate in the game well. But also there's challenges and traps and enemies and foes, and they're out to get you and they want to hurt you. And you have to master the skills to be able to avoid exploding, avoid falling into traps, avoid being taken captive. But then you also have to know that the lessons aren't all the same. There's some easy lessons that we play. There's some more advanced, difficult, intermediate, and even leaderboard type lessons that we cannot achieve that successful status if we don't learn the lessons along the way. So each of you has to ask yourself in life, where am I? Where am I in the game of life, from beginner to leaderboard, from beginner to successful, from the beginning to the place that I'm trying to go? Now, I compared it to video games, but I really could have compared life to sports, education, career advancements, even relationships, for those of you who are still trying to figure out relationships and you may be struggling. It doesn't matter which area of life we look at, because at the end of the day, the rules don't change. Relationships, education, job, career, financial security, all of those have the same kinds of rules. I've got to learn the lessons, and I have to apply those lessons so that I am successful. So let me pump the brakes. Think about your life. Think about where you are and where you're trying to go and what you're trying to achieve and how close you are to the goal that you've set. And there's no right or wrong answer, but I want you to think about it because you're not going to get to the leaderboard in a video game or success in life unless you navigate effectively. So, where does that start? It starts with asking yourself some questions. No one can ask these questions of you but you. But you've got to ask yourself some questions, and your answers are personal. So, the first question that you have to ask yourself is, what do I want? What do I want in any area of life? Do I want to be married? Do I want to make $1 million? Do I want to be the president of a company or my own company? Do I want to be a professional athlete? As we watch Coco Gauff win the women's championship on Saturday, do you want to be a Coco Gauff? Do you want to take home a prize check of $3 million? What do you want? And then the second question you have to ask yourself is, how bad do I want it? Because that is going to determine the effort that you're willing to put forth to achieve the goals or goal that you say you want. If you don't want it badly enough, you won't achieve it. There's a great old YouTube video about an athlete who wants to be successful, and he goes to this football guru to ask him, how do I achieve success? And ironically, the guru invites him to the beach. And the guru is dressed in, well, the athlete is dressed in a three-piece suit. He's looking good. The guru is out in the water, and he tells the athlete to come into the water. Come into the water? I'm dressed in a suit for an interview. I didn't expect to be in the water at the beach. Well, at the end of the story, the guru tries to drown the athlete in the water and has him struggling to catch air. And he says to him, when you want to be successful as badly as you wanted that air, then you're on the track to being successful. And the name of the video is How Bad Do You Want It? Check it out. It speaks volumes. But the third question is that you have to ask yourself is, how will I persevere? What will I do? What am I willing to do in order to be able to successfully navigate the goals that I've set for myself? Because challenges are coming. Obstacles are coming, setbacks are coming, and many successful individuals will tell you of their failures in addition to the successes they had along the way. So you have to ask yourself those questions, and no one can answer those questions for you except you. So commitment, ladies and gentlemen, is not the same thing as desire. I may desire, like I said, a Tesla. I'm not committed to get a Tesla yet, but I desire a Tesla because I like the way they look. So don't get it twisted. You may desire quite a few things, but if you're not standing in the line that says willing to do the work for success, you'll never achieve that success. And that's the difference between those who make it to the leaderboard, gazillion million points, and those who are still at the hard level and struggling. So once you ask yourself those questions, then you've got to determine, what are the steps that I need to take? What are the steps that will get me where I'm trying to go? And please chime in. If you've got some questions, hit me on the chat. Let me see what you want me to answer for you. But here are the steps. The first, and I believe the most important step after you ask the question, how bad do you want it? And what am I going to do to persevere? I think the most important step is, who will teach you? Who are you going to allow into your space to teach you what it takes to achieve the goals that you want to achieve? Everybody can't teach me. I don't listen to everyone who calls themselves an expert in any area of my life that's important to me. I don't even listen to the people who claim to have a gazillion followers and they're the experts and they know everything about A, B, or C, because I'm more selective about who I allow to teach me. And sometimes the teachers who claim to be teachers are really scammers. And sometimes we follow people and we let people teach us because of their status. They may have a certain amount of money that they've accumulated. They may be an athlete. They may be an entertainer. They may be a celebrity of some kind. They may be a professional of some kind. But just because you have a given status doesn't give you the right, doesn't give you permission to teach me. So you have to know, who are you going to let teach you? Don't be fooled by the scammers. Number two, after you determine who will teach you, then you got to learn the lessons. That means you've got to go to class. That means you've got to study. That means you've got to review your notes. That means you've got to ask questions. You may have to be in a study group with other people who are trying to achieve the same goal. But you want to be able to learn the lessons, but you can't just learn them. You got to practice them. Anytime we learn something new, if we don't practice it, we lose it. I don't care what it is, and you all can relate as well as I can, that when I've done something for the first time, it doesn't mean I've actually mastered it to the degree that I can repeat it. But then don't fool yourself. Once you think you've learned it, once you feel comfortable with it, then you've got to have pop quizzes and tests, because that's part of life. We're always going to have a pop quiz. I don't know anyone who's ever gone to school and graduated and gotten any kind of degree that they never had to take a pop quiz or test, even if it's virtually, even if it's online. Life throws us pop quizzes and tests. And then at the end of all of that, you have to apply what you've learned. If you don't apply it, you didn't really learn it. So you want to ask yourself, how am I, when am I applying the things that I've learned? And if you're not doing that, you're fooling yourself, because that means you didn't really learn it. And I like it when a professor or someone who's mentoring me might say to me, now tell me what I just told you. Feed it back to me. Let me know you can explain it in your own words, which helps me understand that you understand it. And we can't always do that, because we've shown up, we've taken some notes, we might have studied some, we might have even applied it once or twice. But if we really didn't practice it enough, we're not going to be able to either regurgitate it back to someone else or use it consistently in our lives. And those are two of the underlying skills. You got to be consistent and you got to be intentional. It's not going to happen haphazardly. So when you look at your life and you answer the question, where am I in my life? You have to then look a little bit deeper and determine, what have I done to achieve what I'm trying to achieve? And is it enough? And if it isn't, how am I going to monitor it, tweak it, revisit it, modify it? Because the fruit tells us how well what we're doing is working. And if you want to have $1 million and your bank account says $33 overdrawn, we have a problem. But if you want to have a PhD and you're about to defend your dissertation at your orals, you're on the right track. But you and only you can ask yourself, where am I and how well have I played the game of life? Because life is a video game, just like so many other endeavors that we find ourselves involved in, seeking to achieve a particular goal. So at the end of the day, it's not complicated. It's not easy, but it's not complicated. And only you can determine whether or not you're going to be able to successfully climb to the leaderboard from the beginning stage, or whether you're going to go from kindergarten to a PhD, or whether you're going to go from a lemonade stand to an entrepreneur with 50,000 employees earning bazillions of dollars, or whether you're going to be a professional athlete who earns the kind of money that Coco Gauff earned on Saturday because she was willing to put in the work for the results. So That's what I wanted you to think about today. So you define life the way you define it. I define life as a video game or a sporting event or an education or a career path or whatever. And I understand what the rules are. And when you understand what the rules are, after you ask the right questions, then you'll be on your way to success, whether you're playing a video game or whether you're doing whatever you're doing. So I thank you for joining me this Tuesday evening. I thank you for those of you who have already subscribed. And I want to remind you to check out my website, surrenderorexplode.com, and get more details about what's going on with me and my life and the movement. And I want you to reach out to me. Hit me on my website, hit me on this chat, but reach out to me and let's begin a dialogue. Let's have conversations. I just don't want to do all the talking. I want to hear from you and I want us to engage. So I thank you. I hope that your evening is amazing and wonderful, and I will see you next week. Thank you very much.